Welcome back to the podcast. This is a very unexpected solo episode. So one of my guests canceled literally a half hour before we were about to record. And then in came in Christian. You guys, Christian is usually my producer for the podcast. And he's been helping me with this podcast, being such a big support. And I put him on the spot. And now we're doing a Get to Know Me.
Jessica Furey. The people want to know, are you single?
Am I
ready
single?
to mingle?
I'm not ready to mingle, but I can't believe you asked me a question like that. People who know my story know that I love someone very, very much, and that person I do not talk about openly, and they are near and dear to my heart, and they're probably listening to this, and I love and adore that person. It would really take an exceptionally powerful man to come into my space in order for me to... I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. Like, I love this person. It's hard for me to think of any other man. Isn't that fucked up? I find like a man who's really powerful to be financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally stable. Always working on yourself, always wanting to be your best self, always wanting to like increase something in whatever it is that they're doing for the best, whether it's in their business or their career or their personal development or their mind or where they want to go in their life. Like, I consider those things powerful. Like, you have to take care of yourself. And I just think that, like, even if somebody who is in a relationship or they want to meet someone, now taking it off of me, like, you can't fully depend on somebody to give you those things. They can provide those things to you in their own way, but you can't be responsible for the work that somebody has to do. They can maybe connect you with people in your line of work, or they can feed you with compliments, but you have to do all that inner work for yourself. And whether it's a man or a woman, I'm like, you can come in the most powerful way, and a woman or a man is going to find it to be incredibly sexy, that work that you do on yourself.
So, do you find yourself to be fit in those 5 ways that you just explained?
86% of it.
86%. Okay.
I did not choose to make a career change at this point of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would say, maybe some days 90% of it. But,
Mm-hmm.
I take care of myself, and I'm grateful for that.
You look good, too. As we all know.
Shut up.
I don't know if you've ever really told the people exactly why you started a podcast. Like, what was the motivation?
I am creative. I find all my success to be in creativity. I am very passionate about being in front of a camera. It's why I moved from New Jersey to Los Angeles, but it was stuff related to fitness. I had a podcast a couple of years ago prior to doing Dumb Girl Podcast, which is now Jessica Furey Podcast. And I didn't have any guests. I was just doing stuff. And I took some time off. I stopped doing the podcast. I have always been working on myself. I've always been working on myself since I've been a teenager, but it's enhanced, it's matured, it's evolved, and I'm constantly enhancing, maturing, and evolving myself in any possible way. So I started a podcast because the guy who's been in my life, we would talk about it. We would constantly talk about me pouring my heart into wanting to come back into the creative space, just through my own personal emotions of like resentments and fears, and a lot of deep work that I continue to do, whether through meditation or plant medicine or physical workouts or writing. Like, I do it all. So I did The Artist's Way, which is a spiritual course. It's not like a spiritual, like a woo-woo thing. It's just like a 12-week course, and it's by Julia Cameron. She was once married to Martin Scorsese, and she did this book, and she comes from a recovery background. And I'm very familiar with the recovery world. I've been to Al-Anon. I had a brother who passed from an opioid addiction. But to keep you present with answering the question, the combination of me connecting to this guy who's been in my life for many years, we started to talk about that he knew that I wanted to get back into the recording space, into the podcast space. And so I did. I had a podcast. I started to reach out to people that I really knew, and they came in the podcast space. And now fast forward about a year ago, I took some time off from the time that I got my real estate license from the podcast to just really like dive into this real estate business that takes a lot of time, energy, and emotion, and consistency, and patience, and all the above. And the agency, the company that I'm with, they are huge on brands and supporting brands and creatives. And they have a yearly forum that showcases a lot of panels and a lot of like master classes in a shorter form. And each panel, they would talk about maybe creativity or business, that they would bring up 5 to 6 agents and they would ask them questions. And I was sitting in that audience listening intensely, and there were times I would have like tears in my eyes because I am so deeply connected to wellness, the business aspects of things, and relationships. And all those top producers that one day I truly aspire to be sitting on that stage, that's what they kept talking about. And I was like, you have to continue to do this. You have to continue to carry a message. And now I'll just share something really personal. I'm a huge meditator. And every day when I end a meditation, I ask the universe, God, my higher source, whichever anybody would identify with, I say thank you for this day. I express gratitude, and then I say, how can I be in service to another person? How can I be in service? How can I be in service? That's something that I'm always reminding myself, that the more that I want to connect to things that I'm passionate about, I have to constantly be reminded that I have to be in service, and that. So that's where the podcast, in a very not short form, led to me creating this, and I'm very passionate about it, as you know.
Dope. What would you say your biggest strength is?
My biggest strength is the ability to connect with people.
I would agree. And your biggest weakness?
Oh, my own personal insecurities of not being able to connect to a person that I'm not leveling up to what they maybe what they have. So I struggle with that sometimes.
What is your idea of the perfect date?
I literally do not have one, because some days I'm like, oh, that restaurant looks really fucking cool. Like, can someone please get me into funky? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then there's other times that I'm like if somebody got me like a burger and fries, I would just be like all about it. Yeah. Like, I'm just like all about it. Like, I'm like, oh, great. Like, cause so I do not have an ideal date.
What's one vice you wish you could give up?
A vice I wish I can give up?
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm perfect. I don't even know. Like, I don't even, I don't, oh shit, I'm gonna have to think about it. Sometimes I'm like, I gotta stop fucking picking up this phone in the car, but that's not a vice.
What's the biggest learning experience you think you've had so far?
What would it be in relation to?
How about the podcast?
The podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I was running late, so the person before me didn't want to come on, so I can only be... I think with that, I had to really just be like, it's out of my control, and I can't please everyone as much as I want. I'm such a people pleaser. I'm such a fucking people pleaser that I'm like, I can't please everyone. And now I'm going to share something live that people can hear. It makes me so uncomfortable to ask people to follow the podcast. It makes me so uncomfortable. Like, I almost am like, can somebody please just make me a celebrity for 5 fucking seconds so all these people can follow it, and then I have to deal with it. But I have to genuinely come from a place of like moving past my own fear to ask someone like, hey, like, I would love for you to follow the podcast. Like, I'm passionate about it. I am investing time and money into this, and Christian, and editing and recording time and hours of other stuff that come with it, reels and making this and making that. So asking people, I don't know if it's a lesson that I've learned. I guess maybe the lesson is just moving past the fear. If you're passionate about something, sometimes you have to ask people to support something. What's
your favorite time of day?
Morning time.
Why is that?
Because I don't touch my phone for the first hour to an hour and a half. It is the most, I don't want to say special, and I don't want to say significant. It is very profound. It is just such an amazing time of the day. I get to wake up and not connect to anyone. Obviously, if I'm laying next to someone, then I'm going to be connecting to that person. However, I literally am such a huge, like, and the funny thing is, like, I'm not even a morning person. I'm a fucking teenager. Now I'm trying to get on a schedule to be up at like between 7:30 and 8. I know that there's people who do 5, 6, and 7, but my energy is not doing that. Like, I get a full sleep, my body wakes up, but I do like a 7:30 between 8, even though I love like 8:39, 9:30. But waking up and not touching my phone allows me to connect to me and set the tone for my day. And every thought that I think, every emotion that I'm feeling, I feel that within myself. I'm not dependent on getting those feelings and emotions from a phone or picking up the phone. So I center myself for the day. I take the time to center myself. I do make a good cup of coffee, but like, I ground myself, I center myself. I don't touch my phone because I just don't. I've had to create a habit around not touching my phone because, and now I'll just give my own self up, I will fucking become reactive. I will send somebody a text message that's just completely uncalled for. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me ground myself in my intention and just ground myself in the day. And I truly believe that I show up 10 times stronger, more confident, more present, more grounded. And I also am showing up for other people, whether it's clients or a partner or a business meeting or something that I'm doing. Like, so the morning time I find to just be so valuable. I just love it.
Who are the 5 people that are around you the most that you think that you are the average of?
I wouldn't say that I am the average of, even though some of the people around me have things that I aspire for. They make me not feel average. They make me feel we're all equal, and I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. Who are these people?
One of them would be Abe, and people who listen to this, they would be like, oh my God, we know Abe. We know Abe, but we don't know Abe. Mm-hmm. We know Abe, but we don't know Abe. We love Abe. My friend Megan, my friend Melissa, my sister, and I would probably say I'm always connecting to somebody. The 5th person would be always changing. It would be like a carousel of people in my business that are supportive to where I'm looking to go. And I truly believe that you surround yourself with people that are doing, or they want to see you do the things that they do. So I would say the 5th person is always changing, but it's always the same quality of person that I like to surround myself with.
If you could give a piece of advice to somebody who's just starting out in their career, what would it be?
I think my piece of advice, if somebody was even starting out in anything, like even if it's a creative project or it's anything, like even like a healing program or a wellness program, is that the time that you take to yourself each day is the most profound time. It's like no phone. You have to put the phone down and you have to connect with yourself. Like, even if it's a half an hour, you do have time. I am totally open to someone telling me that they don't have time, but you do have time. Like, I have one of my girlfriends, if she is listening to this, she'd be like, I don't have fucking time. I'm like, you have time because you do go to a workout class. You do have time. And that is time to yourself because you're not working out and playing on your phone. If you are, you can put your phone down. So I would probably say, in any form. It's like, even if you are starting a business, it's like, connect to the outcome, connect to the emotions of that outcome, or connect to a goal, connect to the emotions of like getting to that goal. Like, what would that feel like? You know, can you define what those feelings are? Can you define what those emotions are? Like, what does that feel like to close a deal? If you can connect to those feelings, then wake up tomorrow and reconnect to those feelings again, and then do it again the next day. And if you fall off the horse, get back on the horse and do it again. Do it again. Do it again. I would use that for the rest of my life. Would be the time that I take to myself daily is the most important time.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food? I don't know. I don't really have a favorite food. I like burgers and fries and bread, and I like vanilla ice cream. I like salads. I can literally eat salads for the rest of my life. I like steak. I like a really good steak.
So like American?
I like Italian food.
Okay. So like American first and then Italian second, you think? Okay. Gotcha. You answered another one of my questions, so I was going to say chocolate or vanilla.
Oh, vanilla.
Yeah. What is your favorite brand to wear?
My favorite brand to wear? I don't have a favorite brand to wear. I have Cartier Love bracelets, so I'd probably say that, because I never take them off, so maybe that would be something. But I don't have a favorite brand to wear.
I think I know the answer to this question, but what is your favorite color?
My favorite color, pink. Pink, white, and black.
Thought so. Favorite perfume?
Lately, I've been getting into clean brands, even though I do the one that I do use that's not like a clean brand is Coco Chanel Mademoiselle. But lately I've been doing oils, like a clean oil. And I've been doing Rosie by Rosie Jane. And then I have like a Lakshmi, which is an oil of like abundance and prosperity. And so that's like another oil. But lately I just been doing Rosie by Rosie Jane. It is a clean brand, and it's just an oil because I'm trying to like be mindful of like all these extra like parabens or chemicals and stuff as best as I possibly can. Give me two more questions that would inspire someone to follow and like and subscribe to the podcast, and one that would be like left field.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to. Why should people follow this podcast? Hold on, I'm gonna rephrase that. Why should people follow your podcast?
Well, because I'm the host. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Because I'm sort of like a one-stop shop for what somebody may be looking for at any particular time of their day or their life. Because wellness, business, relationships, mindset, money, real estate, it's like all here. Like there's a catalog of episodes that it's like, you want to talk about plant medicine? We talk about that. And we also talk about real estate in the same episode. I'm talking about mindset, and I'm also talking about a person who's done $1 billion in sales, and they're also a mom, you know? So it's like, I'm a one-stop shop and a podcaster. So that's a reason why you should follow.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, last question.
I'm gonna lose my fucking job for asking you this question. Okay, I have it.
Oh my God.
Do you prefer to sleep naked or?
I sleep naked every day.
Nice.
That's it.
Perfect. We'll just end it. We'll end it right there. Nice.
Christian, I'm so grateful that you were able to step in last minute to put together a solo episode. And with that, like, subscribe, follow the podcast. It is greatly appreciated. And this is what continues to keep me carrying a message with other people that want to join the podcast. So with that, I'm going to wrap by just saying thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again in another episode. Bye.